Jamie Sochasky Livingston. I'm co-founder of Neuro Reconditioning, or reconditioninghq.com, which is a course education platform for professionals that want to learn how to integrate the worlds of strength and conditioning therapy and applied neurology, and have been teaching that for 25 years and have been in the industry for 25 years and just love learning and teaching and helping people move better. That's interesting, because our analogy that we've always used for reconditioning, because we've always integrated strength and conditioning and therapy rehab. As I said, we had this one little block of like software-driven hardware issues that we could never really figure out why the tone was there, and we couldn't get rid of it and all the rest of it. But we always used it as the whole idea of like an operating system, or like if you take an iPhone, we're the operating system, like Lion or whatever it's called, and all the apps are there, and it's the thing that brings all of the apps together. So you use the app when you need it for weather, or you use your Google for this, but it's the operating system that brings it all together and makes it work seamlessly. Yeah, so essentially Neuro now has become an app on our system, but is also what we like has totally upgraded the whole operating system, right?
Yeah.
So
nice.
that's cool for us. Yeah.
How did your own health and training change after learning applied neurology or after doing the mentorship?
Yeah, well, I guess that's always the fun part about learning, is you always get to try it on yourself. So, and the cool thing about neurology is, it really is the governing system of everything. So I think what's changed is just all of those little niggly things that you couldn't really seem to solve. Now you have more optionality and more doors within which to check and see if you can't find a new difference. So for us, for sure, for a lot of the stuff that we're teaching our people in our health courses, there was always a little bit of like a blurry gray area. And we always talked about it being software driven hardware issues. And, the neurology has really been a way of uncovering that. And as we said, gave us options to be able to dive into that. And then, of course, for our own health, we get to try everything and see what works for us. And you can see the power of how it works and the way it feels. So we would recommend anybody that takes any course of any kind to be trying it on yourself before you are going to be trying it on somebody else. So, and that just helps with the buy-in.
How did your business change?
Well, what was cool for us is we had actually created an arrangement with Matt and Kathy. We didn't even know about the Neuro Mentorship. So we had actually approached Matt and Kathy, I guess 4 or 5 years ago, to bring some of this information into our courses, because we knew it was something that was missing and would really tie everything together. And so we were working very closely with them. Matt built a bunch of modules to go into our courses that we had been teaching, co-teaching together, and then had an arrangement. And then it was during that time that we were building in that arrangement that Kathy was like, you guys would probably really like our Neuro Mentorship. So we were like, yep, sign us up. So, so I think the way it's changed that is just our business is, it's at a place where we had always imagined it would be, which is kind of that idea that you can have this umbrella way of looking at human performance from start to finish. And you're kind of crossing all your T's and dotting your I's. So you understand the breadth of all of that, but you don't necessarily have to become a specialist in everything. You can, but understanding the integration helps you generalize and really be tactical. So, but, we're in the education business. There are lots of times when we've asked people to stay committed for a time in order to make things happen. So have done other mentorships before. So for us, when you want something, you make it happen. So you understand that there needs to be flexibility, and obviously in the program everything's recorded and cataloged and put to the side, so you can make it however it works for you to be able to digest the information. But we also understood the volume and the importance of the information being transmitted, and therefore as we like to do in our courses, we didn't want to just overwhelm people. So we love the fact that we could just book it into our schedule at a specific time and rely on that, and then show up as often as we could and digest the information at a reasonable pace.
If someone's on the fence about the mentorship, what would you tell them?
Well, everybody's always going to say there's not enough time, not enough money, you know, all of the regular excuses. But, you know, I think if you're in the healthcare field, if you're trying to work in human performance and you want people to move better, be better, get healthier, you can't ignore the neuro component. And so you also just can't tip your toes into it. You can't just do it in little pieces. And so if you're struggling with the idea of the weight and the gravity of it, you know, it's just like anything. It's set up for it to be as flexible as possible. And, you know, I think dive in, because it's definitely something that's necessary out there. And if you're not getting into it, you're going to be behind the 8 ball, because that's where healthcare is going.